Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, I am very serious, and we have a very interesting situation taking place. You know about the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and how he's working diligently now with Benjamin Netanyahu and President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinians and Israelis. He's trying to put together this covenant with many, I think. Certainly, he wants to expand the Abraham Accords. But while that is coalitions building, there's another coalition building, a more dark and dangerous. Vladimir Putin and his connections with some of the dark empires of today. I'll tell you all about that in just a second. Let's put a quick shout out, if we could, for www.trimwithpaul.com. That's www.trimwithpaul.com. A new study reveals a surefire way, actually, to increase your odds of losing weight is with a habit of stepping on a scale. Imagine that. Researchers say stepping on a scale frequently helps you shed unwanted pounds compared to if you didn't, by keeping your goals at the front of your mind. But hundreds of thousands are still looking also to accelerate their weight loss with a supplemental support. I found it. It's exceptional. It is www.trimwithpaul.com over there at BioTrust. They put this together at www.trimwithpaul.com. It's exceptional. It's an alternative that uses naturally sourced, science-backed ingredients from the earth to support weight management, reduce the cravings, and boost the metabolism in your body. And you can save 51% off this month only if you'll go to that link below right now at www.trimwithpaul.com. That's www.trimwithpaul.com. And you'll be glad you did. Click on that link and go there now. All right, guys. It's a very interesting situation that's developed. No question about it. And would you start to see how this and why these players and how they're linked to the Bible? Unbelievable. Turkey, Iran, Russia, Libya, and Ethiopia, which is really Sudan. In the Bible, the Ethiopian area was included Sudan. How these nations are building coalitions, and throw in China and North Korea, and you really have a dangerous situation developing in these end times. Let me share with you a little bit about that right now. I actually put together some research this afternoon and on this coalition. It's and I'm going to start with the rise of the renegade general Khalifa Haftar, who's ruling part of Libya, who really picked up and took over Tripoli after the fall and during the Arab Spring and the fall of Muammar Gaddafi, who was drug out in the street and shot and killed by the people who were so angry at his 42 years of dictatorship. Now, in this turbulent, very turbulent landscape of Eastern Libya, and it really is, there's two different groups who are running that country. But the main one is a figure has emerged from the shadows. He dominates both the headlines and the destiny of that nation. Renegade General Khalifa Haftar. Khalifa, that's it. Khalifa Haftar, a complex, decisive, and divisive character, has garnered attention not only for his military prowess, but also his intricate web of international alliances, notably Russian President Vladimir Putin. This narrative, I'm going to take you through Haftar's ascent to power, his entanglements with key global leaders, and his ascent to the top of the heap, and the looming specter of a global cabal that could reshape geopolitical map and the New World Order. Matter of fact, Haftar's journey to prominence in eastern Libya is a tale of shifting alliances and regional strife and international intrigue. He was born in 1943. Haftar was a career military officer who served under the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. His loyalty to Gaddafi, however, proved short-lived as he defected in the late 1980s and sought refuge in the United States. And for over 20 years, Haftar lived in exile in the United States, plotting his return and fostering connections with various international actors. In 2011, during the Arab Spring, Libya spiraled into chaos, and Haftar seized the opportunity to return to Libya. He initially aligned himself with the Western-backed Transitional National Council, but soon fell out of favor due to his autocratic tendencies. His ambitions, however, remained undeterred and very underrated. Haftar's moment of reckoning arrived in 2014 when he launched Operation Dignity, a military campaign aimed at eradicating Islamist militants in eastern Libya. This marked the beginning of his quest for power in the region. Now, Haftar's most enigmatic alliance is undoubtedly his association with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He traveled to Moscow and is there right now meeting with Putin. Russia's involvement in the Libyan conflict, which escalated in 2015, added a new layer of complexity to the region's dynamics. Haftar, the general, found a strategic partner in Moscow, which saw an opportunity to expand its influence in the Middle East and North Africa and to get its hands on some cheap oil. Haftar-Putin connection was forged through a mutual interest in countering the Islamic extremism and securing access of Libya's vast oil reserves. Russia provided military support, including equipment and mercenaries, to Haftar's Libyan National Army. In return, Haftar granted Russian companies lucrative contracts in the Libyan oil sector. This partnership not only bolstered Haftar's military capabilities, but also enhanced his international standing. And then there was the emerging nexus of Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, and North Korea. This convergence of interest between the renegade general Haftar and Vladimir Putin is just one piece of a much larger puzzle in the ever-evolving landscape of global politics. In recent years, Russia has been cultivating alliances with key players across the world stage, creating a potentially formidable cabal. China and the Silk Road. Vladimir Putin's Russia has deepened its ties with China under President Xi Jinping. This collaboration includes the ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to link Eurasian economies through infrastructure development. And the partnership grants Russia access to Chinese markets and technology, while Beijing gains access to Russian resources like wheat, barley, and oil. Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Russia and Iran have shared a relationship. Both nations have supported the Syrian regime of Shiite Muslim Bashar al-Assad of Syria, aligning their interests in the Middle East. This partnership has implications for regional stability, energy markets, and broader geopolitical landscape, but they make good bedfellows as they team up to control Israel. And then there's Turkey's President Erdogan. Turkey's a NATO member, which really complicates things, but they've been drifting away from Western allies ever since Erdogan's leadership. This has led to increased cooperation between Turkey and Russia, particularly in the military sphere. Notably, Turkey purchased Russia's advanced S-400 air defense system, sparking controversy within NATO. And then there's North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Russia's engagement with Kim Jong-un and North Korea has added another layer to a complexity of global politics. Putin has met with Kim Jong-un to discuss regional security and economic cooperation. And this engagement could potentially alter the dynamics of the Korean Peninsula. So when you look at the specter of a global cabal, while individual alliances and partnerships may seem benign, the sum of these connections raises concerns about the emergence of a global cabal with the potential to reshape geopolitics. A coalition of Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, and North Korea, along with Libya, could wield a considerable influence across Europe, South Asia, and the Middle East. And Russia and China's collaboration is coupled with access to Iranian oil and gas. It could create a dominant force in energy markets. And this alliance could control the flow of vital resources and exert significant pressure on other nations. And then there's the combination of Russia's military capabilities with Turkey's strategic location and China's growing military power could disrupt the balance of power in several regions. This could have far-reaching implications for regional conflicts and the stability of neighboring states. And what about the political leverage? The unified front of these nations could challenge the dominance of Western democracies on the global stage. It may lead to concerted effort to reshape the entire international institutions and norms and the status quo to create a better suit their own interests. And what about security challenges? The influence of Russia and North Korea in international security discussions could complicate efforts to address issues such as the nuclear proliferation and global terrorism. Guys, this enigmatic rise of a renegade general, Haftar of Libya, his alliances with President Vladimir Putin, and the broader network of global partnerships underscore the evolving nature of geopolitics in the 21st century. And while the concept of a global cabal remains speculative, the convergence of interests between Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey, throw in North Korea, and their demands careful consideration. As these nations continue to deepen their ties, the international community, including the West, must navigate this complex landscape to ensure peace, stability, and a balance of power that reflects the interests of all nations involved. Ezekiel 38, combination of nations, should cause for a prophecy alert in these last days. When I started studying all of these guys and their relationships and their complex coalition that they're all building, and notice here, I didn't really talk about any of the global elitists and the United Nations and what's going on with all those players. This is a different set of players. This is a whole different set of mentality. This is a vortex of evil, and not that the other isn't. But this is a different mentality. And the West and our way of thinking, I should say the United States, Canada, and Europe, they're not thinking of this in a more ruthless dominance way that the players that I just said are. That's why we're in the end times. It is an end time situation. It's a prophecy moment. And not everybody's ready. I can tell you that. We're living in the last days. The Bible says that in the last days, these perilous times will come. Okay? And men will be lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. The Bible says, except there come a great falling away, the end won't come. The Bible says there'll be wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. The end is not yet. So nations will rise against nations, Jesus said, and kingdoms against kingdoms. There will be famines, and there will be pestilences, and there will be diseases. All these things are happening at the same time. Give your life to Jesus Christ. because he's the only one you can trust. Jesus is the only one at the end of the day that's going to see us through these troubled times. I thought number one would surely be me. I thought I could be what I wanted to be. I thought I could build on life's sinking sand. But now I can't even walk without you holding my hand. I thought I could do a lot on my own. I thought I could make it all day long. I thought of myself as a mighty big man, but Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Oh Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. These mountains, they're too high, and the valley's too wide. Down on my knees, that's where I learned to stand. Oh Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. I think I'll make Jesus my all and all. And if I'm in trouble, on his name I'll call. If I didn't trust him, I'd be less of a man. 'Cause Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Oh Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. The mountains are too high and the valley's too wide. Down on my knees, that's where I learn to stand. 'Cause Lord, I can't even walk without you holding my hand. Can't even walk without you holding my hand. Patrick, I appreciate that greatly. It was a great broadcast last night. It was a great night. There was a lot of folks that were saved as well. And boy, some tremendous information came forward. Mike did a great job in helping us understand some of these apocalyptic events that are going on all over the world. We're in the end times. We're in the last days. Are you saved? I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to Bible prophecy. But you can't, I can't, none of us can even walk. We can't even make it It's in him that we live, move, and have our very being, the Bible says. We can't do anything without him holding our hand. I'll be back. Are you serious?